I think I'm live. I don't really know what I'm doing, but we'll give it a go. So if there is anyone there, this is Shahnaz. This is Bloom Art by SW. I'm just going to be on here for about 10 minutes or so and just try and paint something for you. I'm really nervous. Hope you can see everything. I've got my Shinhan PWC paints. I've got some water. I've got 2 brushes. I'll move it over a little bit. I've got my silver black velvet brush size 8 and a silver black velvet brush size 4. And I've got my sketchbook. This is the last page of my sketchbook. It's a Fumu sketchbook. I don't know if I've said that right. It's 100% cotton and it is cold press. So I've spritzed the paints, and I thought we would start with this Holbein Shell Beige Pink, I think it is. And all I'm going to do is just mix up a nice watery mixture. So these 3 are Holbein. The rest of these are Shinhan at PWC. I don't know why I'm so nervous. Right, okay, here we go. Hope you can see that. And I'm just gonna paint nice and soft. I don't know why that's come out a little bit muddy. I bet there was some colour on there already. That's the colour it should be. That's okay, we can work with that. And it's gone at an angle quite naturally, which is fine. I'm actually quite happy with that. And then all I'm going to do is put one here like this. And that just makes it look like it's a bit curved. And then there's my wispy bits that I really like to do. Also, if there is anyone there, I can't do the comments because I do everything with the camera. So hopefully next time I do this, I should have a slightly different setup. I'm picking up some purple, also Holbein, and I'm just going in at the bottom, and it should mix really nicely on the paper because it's quite a watery mixture. So that is just going to mix, and don't put that everywhere. You just want it in a few little places, and that will blend and bloom really beautifully on the paper, like so. And then wait a little bit for that to dry, and I'm just going to pick up some green, and I've already got some green on the palette as well, and I'm just going to pop in a little stem. I'm going to go here, just like so. Keep it quite watery as well, and then all I'm going to do is pop the brush right down and then slide a little bit and then lift up to create a lovely little. Pick up a bit of that green, a bit more intense, not too much water, and just dab that in. Pick up a bit more to get it a bit more intense, and just pop it in there like so, and that will bleed nicely where we've got the wet leaf there. I think I'm going to pop another one in there, so this time I'm going to start here, press right down and then slide a little bit and lift up, and that just creates a really nice little leaf. I'm going to make that one a touch bit bigger, so I'm going to pop the pointy bit of the brush right down and just do that again, just to make it a little bit fatter, and then lift it up. There we go. Okay. In this bit where it's white, I'm going to go in with some really dark raw umber. I think it's raw umber. And just be careful you don't touch where it's wet, because if you do, that will bleed a lot. So and just pop that in. Just little dots. There we go. If you do touch, it doesn't matter too much. And then we have a basic little flower. Leave those to blend. You don't need to touch those at all. Let them blend, let them dry. We'll pop another one here in exactly the same way, and hopefully, I'm hoping that's not going to be as muddy. There we go. This is a really watery mixture. And we'll do it the same way, the same as I did this, like a curve. There we go. Okay, my nerves are still there. I'm still nervous. I don't know why. Rinse your brush. Pick up that purple again. I've said I was going to use my shin hand, but I've used mostly Holbein. Pop the darker purple in on the edges and let that bloom and bleed really nicely into the petals. Wispy bits. Rinse your brush, and then we'll do the leaf again, the stem and the leaf. Give it a bit of a curve, and then a leaf again. I'll do it this way. Brush right down, slide, lift up, and join it onto the stem. And again this way, slide, lift up, and touch the stem. Get a bit of intense paint and just drop it in, drop it in, drop it in, drop it in where you want it. And there we go. I'm just going to have a quick look just to see if there's any comments. I'm not sure. Whilst that's bleeding and blooming nicely, we'll go into the centre. I'm being really, really careful. It's not the end of the world if it does touch, but I don't want it to touch. See, that's touched ever so slightly. Okay, that's touched a lot. That's fine. I'm going to pick up my smaller brush. Rinse your brush, dab it, and then pick the colour up. Rinse your brush, dab, and just do it again. And then we can sort that out when that's dried. So rinse your brush, dab it, and then just pick where it's bled a little bit. And that'll be fine. Because the water is in the brush, it will act like a sponge and pick up all the wetness on the paper. Hope that makes sense. Okay, let's see if that's dried. It's still a tiny, tiny bit damp, but what I'm going to do is take my smaller brush, take a tiny bit of the shin hand purple, and then we're going to pop in some little veins. You can get some scrap paper if you want, just to test it. That's fine. And all we're going to do is just pop in some little veins. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, it is still a bit wet, but I am actually quite liking that, so I'm going to go with it. Not too many, just a couple. And try and, you can practice this first if you want, but just try and do really light touches. But that's only bleeding because the paint is still, the paper is still quite wet with where the petals are. There we go. And then I'm just going to pop in a little bit on the edges just to make it look a bit more darker. But we can wait for that to dry now. We probably won't have enough time to do that, but I'm just going to leave that on those actually. I think that looks quite nice on there. And then when it's dried, we can come back to it and do some other little bits to it as well. I'm not sure if you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. And then we'll just pop a couple on here as well. And that's bled quite a bit. That's okay, we can make it into a leaf once that's dried off a little bit. And then with these, I'm going to pick up some Payne's Grey and then just put some veins in them as well. Does not have to be perfect, it's a sketchbook. There we go. And then one last thing I am going to do. Can you guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to put some splatter in. There we go. Okay, that is my first live. Leave it there and hopefully this will replay. So if you missed it, you can watch it again. If I've got any comments, I will reply back to the comments as soon as possible. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.